Hey and welcome back to the channel. It's a VTERUN, it's a lithium iron phosphate battery, 12 volt, 100 amp hour. And in this case, it's the SB100 model. And let's get started as always. First about what's in the box. So you can see the batteries in the box. We do have a little manual, which is also in the box. We do have two sets of bolts, M8 bolts, which are in the box, as well as those rubber protectives for the terminals itself here on top already. They're different than what I've seen so far. A little flimsy, but they do work pretty well, I guess. That's what you get, basically. So we'll continue with the specification, which we can also find here in this user manual and in the link below in the description as well. So when we go to page 7, which you should also see here, there are two things I want to point out. So the first one is the charge. Recommended max charge current is 50 amp, and the max continuous discharge current is 100 amp, and there is as well the overcurrent protection, 150 amp. Those things we'll most likely test in this video, because 150 amp is possible with my test equipment. And yeah, you can see also here on the battery itself, there is some information about it. Battery, it has grade A, most likely I would say cylindric cells, but that's something which I think was not advertised. This image, additionally, we have the information engineered for extreme conditions, so up to 60 Celsius, which is the maximum temperature, and the lowest is 0 Celsius. And we do have some built-in safety. They call it a smart BMS protection. It does not come with Bluetooth, by the way, at least this base model. And then they have the overcharge discharge, low and over temperature cutoff, low and over voltage, as well as overcurrent, as well as short circuit. That's what they advertise it with. The next step will be we'll do the capacity test with this unit and also a high discharge test. So let's do that now. All right, everything's reset. Let's start the test. Alright, there we are. That should be the final number. A little bit below 30. It's not completely the 0.2C what we want to see here, so that it's at 20 amp. But we'll let it run 30 amp and see. Alright, let's see how far we can get with this battery, 100 amp hour as advertised. And I'll be back as soon as this test is completed. Alright, battery died already. Let's see if we can get it back online. Oh, bummer. Alright, so we can see in this corner here left 95 amp hour. Very sad. So it looks like we were not able to pull the full capacity with this battery. Unfortunately, capacity test sadly didn't pass. It's advertised with 100 amp hour and it only delivered around 95. Let's proceed. So the only thing what we can actually do is try to reduce the load to minimum and see if we can get the last 5 amp hours out of this battery. So let's see, I'm turning it on and see if that's the case. Alright, it died again. Let's see how much we're getting this time. Oh wow, 1 amp hour more. Okay, alright. I just want to give it a try. Let's continue. Okay, for the high draw test, we'll see what we can do. By the way, it is fully charged. It's dropping again, but I just fully charge it, so I'll just kick it on and see if we can get any load on it. This is reading straight from the battery. Okay. Nice, 60. Let's see how far we can go. And again, overcurrent protection is at 120 amp. And again, discharge overcurrent protection is at 150 amp. Maximum continuous current is 100. So let's see. Here it looks pretty good currently. It is at 100 and around 100. There we go. Hope you can read it. Sorry, it's in 2 different layers. So still, I can let it run for a little bit, and then we'll pull a little bit more. $150 is the overcurrent protection with the discharge. Let's go higher. Still going strong. Let's see if we can go higher. Hope that's the max. Yeah, looks pretty good. I'm certain at the moment there is no overcurrent protection when discharging. We are definitely more than a minute in. That sounded more like the inverter. It's not happy. Let's see. Now we're asking more than there is. And the battery voltage dropped too much, so should stop anytime, I guess. If not, well, I think I'll stop in here. Anyways, you can see we are definitely we're able to pull more than it's advertised. It didn't stop, it didn't protect. Keep that in mind when you use your battery, the VTERUN. Let's continue with the video. So now you saw a capacity test. It did stop at around 95 amp hour, which is sadly below what's advertised with 100 amp hour. That is very sad to see. It is what it is. The advertised overcurrent protection of 150 amp is not entirely met. We were able to discharge more than a minute with 240 to sometimes 270 amp, which is a lot. So when you use this battery, you want to use your own fuses for that, and your wires sized to what you expect to use in amperage. Keep that in mind. Now we'll continue with the teardown. We'll look inside. We'll do some more testing, especially low and high temp cutoff testing if that's existing, and then we'll see, how the build quality is as well. Safety first, as always. But we're done here. So open it up, and as you can see, it's empty, but I can already tell you, I got the entire thing out. So what does that mean? Now we see the entire, battery out here. I'll open it up for you in a second more, but two things I want to point out here. So we have the BMS on this side. It was tucked in, and everything was with high density foam on those sides covered. It's good that you have it. I'm happy that it's not peeled off, but usually you peel this adhesive off and it makes my life more difficult. In this case, it was not happened. So that means it was easier for me, but it also means if there's some kind of wiggle room, it's moving around. On top, this one, usually you see them glued on the side or on top or whatever. This one is just tucked into the side, nothing else. Didn't move around at all, but in this case, when you take it out, that's what's happening. And then you have this flimsy little thing. You have more of this self-adhesive or double-sided adhesive on one side. And let me get into this one more, because I can see there's, yeah, well, what do we see? We do see, of course, here some protective, which is funny, some protective. That is very funny. It's not only protective, it is shrink wrap, but only shrink wrapped on some spots, not completely. And then we can see over here, we do have two 10 gauge positive wire from the terminal going to the main battery. And then we have, what is that? Same 2 10 gauge wires going negative side to the BMS. And let's get closer to this one. And you can see over here is the BMS. Here we can see the BMS number. It is indeed a 4100 amp. It's CP model. I don't know which one it is. We can see all those bolts have some kind of yellowish glue or whatever. So I would hope that this is the intentional marker for it's not going anywhere and it's torqued down. As well, we can see the hydraulic crimp over here on those terminals, at least. On here, it's kind of a different crimp, but it seems to be pretty good and sturdy. This is what it looks like. Also, torque marks in form of a yellow old dried glue. Anyways, let me open up this part so we can see more. I don't know if they look damaged or it's just the nature of how they are sliced in here. Very interesting. I don't know if I would call them grade A. Feels like they were already repackaged. Anyways, there's a BMS kind of over here. Here's our temperature switch just holding into this one. I would say this is just a high temp switch. It tells us, no, the temperature is scraped off, so you can't see that, 70 Celsius maybe. And then what I can see here, oh yeah, well, when you look on this side, we can see we have solder blobs over here and here. For the negative and for the positive, we have those balance leads going over here, also solder blobs, and then we have a lot of high density foam for insulation, I guess, over here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing what we'll test is the high temperature switch, because this one might have a low temp internal switch, which we're not testing here in this case. So let me get the heat gun and set up everything, and then we'll continue with the high temp cutoff test. High temp cutoff test. Here on this side you can see it is charging currently. So we'll be charging the battery, and when it reaches a certain temperature, in this case most likely it's 70 degrees because that's what's on this high temp switch labeled, then it should stop charging. That's how it should be. I do have also in this case my duster here, so we'll use a very cold 20F or even less temperature to see if that even triggers, but usually the hot temp switch, that's what it, it's labeled for. Well, let's see. Let's look over there. And and there it stops. When we cool this thing down a little bit, it should start in a second again. Let me help it a little bit. So here we go. Just started charging again. Now we'll do the, just with the duster to prove it that it's not working, but we'll do that very quick. Do it a second time really quick. And nothing's happening, so that was to expect. Anyways, I'll stop it here. I think you got a good picture of the battery and the build quality itself. You got a good picture of the low, which is advertised by the way online, and the high temp cutoff. High temp cutoff, it does exist while charging. Low temp, I did not see that, but I also didn't test the BMS with putting it in an ice chest. It might work that way. I'm not doing this here. I'm just using the tools here, which I have, but I hope this helps you. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this battery. Would you purchase it? Do you have any questions? And thanks for watching. Cheers!